Hello gentlemen, today I'm going to show you how to pick up all of the main blitzes in Madden 24. Now this is a pretty important topic because if you're not comfortable back there in the pocket, you're probably going to lose the game, to be honest. And it's very frustrating when you have a blitz coming at you and you just have no idea how to pick it up. So I'm going to show you how to kind of handle these things. Now this isn't going to cover every single blitz in the game, but some of the pass protections that I'm going to show you can be applied to very similar blitzes that you might see. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so the first formation we're going to talk about is 6-1. Now this formation is declining in popularity. It's definitely not used as much as it was a little bit ago, but you still need to know how to give yourself more time in the pocket against this formation. So let's go ahead and talk about the disengage as well as a 6-man blitz. So let's just use cover 4 quarters, and we're going to start off in trips. So I'm just going to call verticals for now, and the way it works is people just pinch their D-line, crash down. I'm sure you guys know that by now. And go ahead and get on this guy. And some guys will kind of do this, but I'm just going to put him in a spy. So I'll send everybody out, and we'll just have a look. And what you're going to see is stuff like that happens, right? Like somebody can squeeze through, they can disengage. And it can be a little bit annoying sometimes to deal with. But at this point of the year, I think a lot of people understand how to give yourself more time. And one of those ways is going to be play action blocking. So I'm going to audible over to PA slot corner. And this play action blocking is actually the best in the game. If you look at your play art, look at your tackles, you see how they drop straight back. And then you have pretty much the interior of your O-line is kind of stunted up. This is the best play action blocking in the game. And against something like this is going to give you a lot of time in the pocket. So let's have a look. As you can see, it stifles the protection, the disengage, and you'll have plenty of time to make a read. Now, I understand that not every formation has this type of play action blocking, but if you have it, it's going to be a big advantage. If you don't have this exact type of play action blocking, it's okay to use a different play action. And the other solution, I guess, to give yourself more time is just kind of be aware of, like, how does this work? Like, how does this disengage work? It's by basically just condensing everybody down and just overloading the interior of the O-line. So what can we do about that? You can send everybody out on a route, and then you can basically just kind of drift like this. And they'll have to send one of their curl flats. Like, they'll have to click in the right stick and send a curl flat at you. Now, one thing I want to mention is if you drift outside, if they send 6, you could be at risk of getting sacked. And then also, once you drift out, you are at risk of throwing inaccurate passes, even if you set your feet. That's just something in the game this year. If you throw a pass outside the pocket, it's just going to be more inaccurate. So that's kind of how I attack the 6-1 disengage, or give myself more time against the 6-1 disengage. Now, let's say that your opponent starts sending 6 at you out of 6-1. This is what you're going to do. So let's go ahead and set it up the same way. Pinch D-line, crash down. But let's say they mix in a 6-man by blitzing all of their linebackers, and then maybe doing something like this, and maybe using this guy. So really what you have to do is think about what kind of blitz it is. And really, it's just a +1. They're sending 6 at you, and if you don't block anybody, there's going to be a free rusher. And it's a straight rush. And what I mean by that is everybody's just kind of coming straight down at the quarterback. There's no stunt, there's no loop, there's no overload. So it's very easy to pick up. In most cases, all you have to do is just block your running back, and that's probably going to be good. As you can see right there, yes, the pressure is still kind of in our face, but everybody does get picked up. But in the event that that doesn't work, another thing you can do is block your running back and then ID the edge defender on the opposite side of your running back. So ID this guy, and this is going to do a good job as well. And that's going to apply to pretty much any kind of straight rush. Like I said, double A gap mid blitz is another popular one. One thing I will say is that if it's a cover 0 blitz, sometimes whoever's manned up to the running back will blitz if the running back stays in, which is a green dog blitz. And that does give them a +1, but that's going to be a pretty rare scenario, so I wouldn't worry about that. Before I get into the rest of the video, just giving you guys a heads up that I am currently running a sale on acemeta.com. Just use code Lombardi for 50% off your first month on base and pro memberships, and you'll gain access to every single ebook that we have on the site. So here's a quick look at what they look like. I think we have the most detailed schemes in the entire ebook space. We have a lot of information on each play. We have the video, we have the strengths, the weaknesses, the progressions, and even the screenshots. So definitely check us out on acemadden.com. Use code Lombardi for 50% off your first month. Next up, we're going to talk about how to pick up DB Fire 2 out of dollar. Now, this is another one that isn't very popular because people don't really run spread D-line, but you still need to know how to pick this up because they do get a +1 sending 5 if you don't do anything about it. So we'll go ahead and talk about it. DB Fire 2 against trips. We'll also do gun bunch because it's actually kind of different. Not in regards to pass protection, but in regards to how they send their pressure off the bunch side. So let's go ahead and press. And if you send everybody out on a route, typically speaking, somebody's coming free like that. You know, that's kind of bad pocket, but one guy will typically come free if they send 5 out of baseline. Press, do it again. Doesn't happen there, but it does happen pretty often. Now, again, for those of you who are watching and maybe skipping around, I'm aware that this isn't very popular. Like, people are typically running dollar like this, right? With their pinch D line. Now, the pressure can still come in like this if they pinch their D line. Doesn't there. It's practice mode. It's going to be inconsistent. But really, the way you want to stop this, if you want to block your running back, you don't have to block your running back. I don't think it's that good of a blitz where you have to. But in the event that you just really want to pick it up, block your running back. And then what I would do is slide towards your running back. So LB and then right in this case. Notice how all of our offensive line is slanted towards the right. And then what you can do is ID the slot cornerback on the opposite side of your running back. So let's have a look. As you can see, you can take off. There's usually going to be a huge hole for you to scramble. That's why people don't really run the spread D line. It's just really not that good. It's easy to run against, and there's going to be pretty big lanes for you to scramble with your quarterback. So again, not very popular, but you still need to know how to pick this up. So again, block your running back, slide towards your running back, and then ID the slot cornerback on the opposite side. And your running back should cross block like that, and you'll easily pick up good yardage. Now, if you don't want to block your running back, your best bet is going to be sliding right and then IDing. So send your running back out, slide right, and then ID the other slot cornerback. And this will give you a pretty good, I guess, pocket against this blitz. Sometimes you'll have to really step up, but that's going to be probably your best way of sending 5 out and still getting a lot of time in the pocket. Now, let me briefly show you DB Fire 2 against bunch. I will say that if they run this kind of setup, it's going to be really bad because blitzing off the bunch side with a slot cornerback just really isn't good this year, because what's going to happen oftentimes is he's either just not going to come in, or he's going to press one of the receivers on the bunch side or just get knocked around, and just takes forever to come in. So you're not going to really see this 5-man of DB Fire 2 against bunch unless maybe they're a bad player. Really what you'd want to do, I'll do it one more time. As you can see, right tackle gets out there, picks him up. Really what people will do is send the 4-man, and they'll just do like press, maybe man this guy up to B, and then man this guy up to A or RB, either one. And then run it like this, because the 4-man can still come in like this. So versus bunch, you got to be more worried about the 4-man. In the event that they do that, really all you have to do is attack the vacated space from that slot cornerback coming off the weak side. And finally, we're going to be talking about how to pick up the A gap out of dollar. And this does kind of apply to other A gaps you'll find in the game, but dollar is by far the most popular. And this is something that you need to know how to do because you're going to see it online all the time. So we're going to talk about 3 different pass protections that you can do versus it. And it's going to depend on what they do with their defense. There's different variations to how they run the A gap, and we're going to have a different solution for each. Okay, so I'm going to use overload 3 seam for the example, but it can be done out of different plays. I'll show you just real quick. I'm in the Chiefs playbook, and they also have FS zone blitz. They have cover 2 man, and this doesn't have cover 2 press in it. I do believe the 4-6 playbook has it, but not the Chiefs. But we'll use overload 3 seam for this example. and we'll use gun punch. Now the setup is very simple for the blitz, and it's usually press, pinch your D line, blitz this right of screen linebacker, hover in the gap, and then you have the option to zone out the slot cornerback on the left. So this is kind of how you run it. And in practice mode, it might not come in. It does there, but sometimes it won't. It's very finicky in practice mode. But this, in my opinion, is probably the best way to play defense as of right now. And it's just because you're sending 4, you have a pinch D line, which is good against the run. And when you send 4 and get +1, it's always going to be good. So overall, this is probably the best meta blitz in the game. You need to know how to pick it up. So the easiest way to do it is going to be, let me set up the blitz first. Easiest way to pick it up if you want to send everybody out on a route, which would just be slide right. So LB and then right stick to the right. And that's going to be universal because they have to send the blitz off the left side every single time. If they send the blitz off the right, it's just never going to come in. So the solution is going to be slide right every time, regardless of if your bunch is flipped or whatever. So let's have a look. I didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to send that guy. Let me go ahead and do that again. Drag this guy back. And I'm going to use the defense this time. And we'll just slide right. As you can see, it gets picked up very easily. Now, this definitely gets a little bit more nuanced when they start doing a specific adjustment. So one more time, I'm going to show you slide right, picking it up. I'll streak my running back, slide right. Use it as a defense this time. There we go. As you can see, picked up. So if you want to send 5 out, that's your best bet. It's the easiest thing you can do. But in the event that it isn't working, let's talk about 2 more solutions. Now, let's say your slide right isn't working and they're still getting in. Another thing you can do is double team the nose tackle. So LB or L1, right stick down, get that D2 right above that nose tackle, and then hit A or X. And then LB and then A for ID the mic, and then ID this blitzing linebacker. And this is basically just going to make them focus a little bit more on the interior, and it'll pick everybody up. Now, that is going to be how to pick it up versus a press defense. But what people have started doing is they will actually run a setup more like this. They'll do maybe press to start off with, and then they'll back off. Oop, didn't mean to do that. They'll back off the slot cornerback. And I don't know why, but what it does is it changes the offensive line logic. So like if I snap the ball, you're going to see this guy's going to come in like super often. Like if you send 5 out, that guy will come in a lot. So let's have a look again and pay close attention to this one, because this is the variation that people are running because people were using this in the MCS. So backed off slot cornerback, sometimes they'll even back off both and do something like this. And if you slide right, that's not really always going to work. Let's have a look. It does there, but you're just going to have to take my word for that. It comes in sometimes. So your solution for this versus a backed off slot cornerback is going to be pretty simple. So if you see your opponent back off even one of his slot cornerbacks, what you're going to do is double team the right end, the right of screen defensive end, and then ID the blitzing linebacker. And now we can send everybody out, and this is going to comfortably pick up this blitz. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is if they send the slot cornerback off the running back side, and that's where things can get a little bit more dicey. So we'll run it like this. We'll back off this slot cornerback, and then we'll send everybody out on a route. Let's do the same pass protection we just did, which is double team the right of screen end. Oops, I'm on the wrong controller. This guy, and then ID the blitzing linebacker. And let's have a look. Well, Chris Jones just kind of bulldozed him, to be honest. So we'll run that one more time. Okay. Send everybody out. Double team the right end. ID the blitzing linebacker. And as you can see, everybody's pretty much picked up. You can still kind of 5-out it. And that's going to be your best pass protection versus this kind of blitz, because if they back off their slot cornerback and you don't do anything about it, the blitzing linebacker is going to come in pretty often. So you can't just slide right. That's not going to be 100% pickup. You do have to start double teaming that right end and then IDing the blitzing linebacker. Anyways, that's going to be it for the video. I know I didn't cover every blitz in the game. In the event that there is a blitz that's giving you troubles and you need to know a pass protection for it, let me know in the comment section and I will definitely answer you, or I'll do a part 2 of this video and drop more pass protections against those blitzes. So thanks for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed. If you want to see more Madden 24 content, make sure to subscribe. And then as always, if you want to win more games, acemadden.com is the place to be. We have close to 10 ebooks up right now. All of them will give you a significant edge over all of the people you play, because we have all of the solutions for you on how to attack any coverage or even how to get pressure against the best formations in the game. So check that out on acemadden.com. See you guys in the next one.